Good evening and welcome to the real 5 of the championship. Takes us to Silverstone, Britain, and we'll be doing the full quali and the race. 26 laps it will be, and then we begin with Q1 now with the numbers that we have for tonight. With 14 drivers, which means we won't lose any drivers at the end of Q1 unless they do decide to crash out on circuit, of course. So the first session could well be used as a practice session for the drivers out there. I think we may have 15 involved, or it could well just be the 14. And it's a wet Silverstone as well, so we'll be seeing some drivers making their way out onto the racetrack. We're seeing an Alfa Romeo of Cohen heading out there now. So Cohen out on circuit in the Alfa Romeo as he wants to rebound from his disappointment in the Netherlands where he crashed out. It's been his only appearance this season so far. Holding as a substitute for Random Guy. And we'll start a lap. And how will he go through? Abbey. Carrying way too much speed, and he's invalidated his lap already. Hungary keeps his car on track. And so Hungary enters Brooklands and now Luffield. So Hungary coming down the Hanger Straight. He goes towards Stowe Corner. And so Hungary crosses over the line to 1:36.7. Driver coming through next. Goes a lap time himself in the Alpine. It's 1:38.1. We're just watching A couple of Alfa Romeo drivers crossing over the line. And Twitch Ebba going fourth on a 1:39.5. Kim Green going second on a 37.1. And Jamie Moon going third on a 37.2. for Cobalt. So is Will, who's in the McLaren for this week. Goes over the line to post a 1:38.1. And Hack, who was in the Haas last week, is in the Alpine for this week. And Hayden, who's won 2 out of 4 races so far. He'll be looking to close in on Just Secret, who's not around today, so Hayden has a chance to take over the lead in the championship standings by the end of this event today. Hayden coming through Club. And this lap time he's producing will be good enough for 1:37.5. Kalsu is in the Haas. And Will going 6th on the 37.5. That's a 38.4 for him. For Kalsu. Leclerc's lap time's been invalidated, so he'll have to go again. And driver coming through in the Alpine. Looking to improve on his earlier time. And this lap he's producing. Hayden going through Club. And this lap time is good enough to put in fastest of everyone. And Leclerc loses his lap time again, and he goes into the pits this time. Here's Gabriel in the Alpine. And he was involved last week. It's good to see which car he was in at the Red Bull Ring. He was in the Williams, and today he's in the Alpine. He goes 7th of his flying lap. Kelsu. And onto the old pit straight. And the Alfa Romeo's just gone on track. It's Ebar who's gone off. Just get out of that gravel trap. Kelsu improves by over a 10th by sector 2. And Kelsu's lap time's been invalidated for exceeding track limits, so he'll have to go again after that. So Hayden coming through the Maggots, Beckett's and Chapel area. He's not on an improvement through there. We'll go to Jamie Owen next. Jamie Owen coming towards Vale. He's on the intermediates. And through Club. And he'll power his way over the line. I'm not sure he's going to improve his time, to be honest with you. He's well away, so may as well back out of the lap he's on. Here's Kelsu. Exceeding track limits again at that same corner as he did so last time. And one of the Rebels has gone for a spin. It's Hungary. So Leclerc's the only driver yet to post a lap time of any sort. Really goes on a flying lap in the AlphaTauri. The lap time's still valid at the moment. It's a 39.2 for Boudigo. Here's Leclerc, back from a one-race ban for shenanigans in the Netherlands. Going on to the Hamilton straight, onto 1:36.7, good enough to put him third. Kelsu has kept his car within the limits this time. It's going to be a 1:37.9. Stays 10th with that. We're going through sector 2, 9:10 start from before. This is Gabriel. I think his teammate, the driver, is also making his way through. So Gabriel entering the last turn, and it's going to be a 1:36.2, and he goes fastest with that. Boudigo gets a grid drop for a collision with Ebar. So wherever he lines up on the grid, he'll go back 5 spots. Oh, and Cohen's just deliberately crashed into the barrier on the exit of Stowe corner as well. I'm sure we'll be having a word with the stewards about that, because that is not on. You don't deliberately crash your car out on circuit. And with him crashing out, that means he won't be able to take part in Q2. It's really shocking driving standards. He's left the session as well. And now Jamie Owen's been disqualified from the session for pointing the wrong way. And it means that he'll be out of qualifying as well. So we'll be losing 2 drivers at the end of Q1. So Cobalt. So Cobalt in the AlphaTauri. Currently 8th at the moment on a 37.2. It's only a whole second away from Gabriel's lap time. The driver goes 3rd with his latest effort, 1 minute 36.6. Cobalt's on a much better improvement. So Cobalt entering Vale and then Club. And make his way onto the pit straight, and this lap time of his should be faster than before. It'll be a 1 minute 36.3, and he goes 2nd. So we're only a 10th away from Gabriel. Now Will, on a flying lap, well, almost looked like he was on a flying lap, but he's just made a mistake somewhere. He's coming into the pits. And who's that that's going off? It's one of the Alfa Romeos, and it's Ebar goes for a spin again. And he's deliberately going off circuit. Yeah, he needs to stop that, does Ebar. Now, the drivers had been briefed beforehand, he's just continuing to go for spins now. He really is taking the mickey. So Ebar coming through Copse corner. And that is the end of the session now. We should be seeing the checkered flag. And so Cobalt and Boogadoo will be making their way back into the pit lane. It looks like Archie's also joined. He's taken one of the Williams seats. So Boogadoo will be making his way back into the pit lane. We are losing Owen and Cohen at the end of Q1. I wonder if Archie will also be joining because of his late arrival at the end of Q1. As Boogadoo makes his way back into the pit lane. Well, Archie's out on the circuit now. So we'll just wait for him to perhaps complete a lap. And he's pushed too hard, so he may as well just back out of this lap. So we've got Archie crossing over the line now, and that should be the end of Q1. Now Archie's just simply going through the polystyrene boards as he made a mistake coming out of farm. He decides to go for a spin. And Archie's just simply squirming the car around. So we lose two drivers at the end of that session. Owen and Cohen have crashed out. We go on to Q2 and we're back in a moment. Well, the rain is still coming down. There'll be three drivers going to be eliminated at the end of this session. There's Archie making his way out. So, can Archie get a solid result? He's only made one appearance so far this season, which was in Australia when he crashed out on that one. And I think the rain is expected to stop before the end of qualifying, which could make the end of Q2 rather interesting, if that's the case. If not, then we could expect a dry Q3 session. So we go involved with Archie for a lap. Gets through Abbey fine. The cars are just waiting some space before they do decide to begin their flying laps. So Archie coming through. Beckett's now. He's going to make his way through Chapel and onto the back straight. Now Archie crossing over the line to post his first time of qualifying. It'll be a 1 minute 40.7. Go to Gabriel, who's just starting the lap now. So the next man to go over the line is Cobalt, who's on a fast lap. And the start time of his is going to be a 1 minute 36.3. And he goes to the top. And Will in the McLaren. And it's at 1:38.1, although he may have had his lap invalidated actually for track limits. So only 2 times on the board at the moment. Leclerc makes that 3 as he posts a 36.1. And he goes fastest with that. Here's Evart in the Alfa Romeo going over the line, 1 minute 38.8 for him. Now Hack is on a flying lap in the Williams. And Bidigoo's still stuck in the pits. .139.4, although his lap time didn't go on the board for some reason. So Gabriel crossing over the line, 1 minute 37.1 for him. Here's Will in the McLaren, who almost went for a spin there. 1 minute 37.0. Here's Kelso in the Haas, 1 minute 38.3. Now Evart in the Alfa Romeo, looking for an improvement. 138.0. You see one of the McLarens going slowly there. That will be Will, just moving out of everyone's way. Go to Gabriel, who's continuing to improve. 8 tenths up by sector 2. Oh, he nearly lost it coming out of club. Keeps his car on track. He goes third with a 36.6. Now Hungary, who is fourth at the moment, goes into the pits. The driver coming in on. He's yet to post a time so far. So only 8 drivers have put in lap times. The driver improves to go up to 5th and a 36.8. Here's Hayden. As Kelso goes 7th on the 37.8 with his lap. He's gone for a spin, I think, on the start-finish straight, and he's continued. Here's Hayden. Over the line in the McLaren to go 3rd with a 36.5. Vertigo in the AlphaTauri will be the next driver to cross over the line. Vertigo, entering Vale, exiting Club, and his lap is a 1:37.8. He goes 8th with that. That pushes Archie into the drop zone along with Green and Hat. No less than 6 minutes remaining. And Vertigo goes for a spin on the exit of the loop. Here's Gabriel in the Alpine. Goes through Cops in 7th gear. Very neatly done. Doing a really fine job in that car all the way through this lap. It's nearly 2/10 up from before. Could potentially go up to 3rd with this lap, depending on what time you can find in the last sector. So over the line, Gabriel posts a 1:36.1. He goes 2nd. So he's only 400 away from Leclerc's time that he's good enough to put in P1. And Vertigo gets disqualified from the session for going round the wrong way. And so that's his Q2 session over, which means he will start from the back of the grid, considering his grid penalty. And Archie goes off on the exit of Luffield. Nearly taking out Green as well. So we've got 2 more elimination places to be filled. So Green on the intermediates. We've just seen that the rain is stopping now. Green goes over the line and it's a 1:37.3. So just seen drivers making their way round. There's Cobalt who's on a flying lap now. I wonder who may decide to take a gamble and put soft tyres on, or dry tyres on anyway. So Archie's in the drop zone. There's Twitch Ebar, who's on a flying lap in the Alfa Romeo. Green's on an improvement through sector 1. Look at Cobalt. Is he going to make his way through Cops Corner without an issue here? The answer is yes. Through Maggots, and as he heads towards Beckett's as well. He's 3/10 away from what he had set before. Now, Ebar was a 10 down from what he set before in Sector 1. He's 300 away in Sector 2. Hacker's on an improvement. He hasn't posted a time yet in Q2. Anyway, here's Kean Green. Over the line to post a 1:36.3 to put him third. Here's Hack next up. And so Hack crosses over the line and he only goes 11 for a 38.4, so he's backed off as well, so that's him out of qualifying. Now Hayden, 100th up by Sector 2 from before. Hayden over the line, there's the 36.2 for him, goes third. So Archie started his last attempt in the Williams. There's still some damp patches, so it's definitely not time for the dry tyres at the moment. Archie goes off track though, and that is his qualifying session over and rips off his front wing. So Hack and Motorsport Archie will be joining Bidigu at the end of qualifying on the sidelines. The top 10 go through to the shootout. And Archie's continuing to go through polystyrene boards and continuing to spin round. I'm not even sure the cars are ghosted on this, so we'll need to be careful about rejoining into the path of other drivers. You can see the DRS has been enabled, albeit too late. Although the driver has been able to use that now on the hanger straight. So he's definitely on course for an improvement here. So the driver coming through the last few turns. He had posted a 36.8 earlier on. The time now is a 36.8, but it's slower. And Kelsu on a flying lap in the Haas. He's looking to improve his time. And what is Motorsport Archie doing? And Archie's just continuing to spin round and waste even more time. He shouldn't be taking that long, to be honest with you, as Kelso spins into the barrier on the start finish straight. This should not be taking Archie this long to just simply get the car round. Archie is coming back to the pits now. It's going to acknowledge that he is out of qualifying, and we'll get some drive on him in Q3, that's for certain. Don't understand why he didn't go in the pits, to be honest with you. So the end of Q2, Hack, Archie and Budigu are eliminated. The top 10 go through to the shootout. We'll be back in a moment. And so this is Q3. And it'll be the first opportunity to see the drivers on the slicks. So the driver makes his way on track now. And all 10 drivers are out on track now, which is no surprise. And someone's gone off in sector 2, and it's Kieran Green who's just gone for a spin, I think. In fact, he's made contact with Hayden, and Hayden's been penalised. So Hayden will start 5 places back on the grid from where he starts for the race. And the driver on his flying lap now. Rear wing open on the Alpine. It's 27.7 by sector 1. He goes in 2 deep into Brooklands. Eval's right behind him as well, who's also on a flying lap. And Hayden and Green make it back to the pits. And so the driver coming around the last turns, and this lap is going to be a 1:28.3. It's a 1:28.3 for Eval, but his lap time has been invalidated, so he'll have to go again. Cobalt goes to the top on a 27.2. Gabriel is next in the Alpine. He sets some really strong pace on the intermediates throughout qualifying. How will he fare on the dries right now? It's a 1:26.5, and it's good enough to put him to the top. Leclerc over the line for Red Bull, and it's a 27.3 for him. So far, Gabriel is on top. There's definitely more time to be found. I think he's gone for another effort, actually. Oh no, sorry, it's the driver we're looking at. So the driver, can he improve and get closer to his teammate who's top? 1.8 seconds clear of him. This is going to be a much bigger improvement for the driver, and it's a 27.1. He goes to the front row. There's still 6/10 to wait. And Hayden not quite moving out of the way there. He knows he's on an outlap. And Kelsey goes in the pits. So the driver will be making his way back into the pit lane very, very shortly. Hayden and Green are on flying laps now. Hayden will be going back 5 places on the grid wherever he ends up. And Hayden is looking for that low 1 minute 26 on his effort here. Remarkably, his lap time is still valid. Green's lap is no longer valid, so he won't be setting the time on this occasion. 1 minute 3.1 for Hayden. It's probably going to be good enough for a 1 minute 27, I would imagine. Hayden over the line for McLaren, and it's a 1:26.8. Good enough to put him on the front row in qualifying. As it stands, he would go back 5 spots, and he'll start 7th on the grid. Hungary's on a flying lap now. Less than 6 minutes remaining of Q3, and one of the Mercedes has gone off. It's Kean Green. Not sure why he stopped, to be honest with you. That's a really poor time. He nearly took out Cobalt actually as well, so he'll probably get away with that. It's not ideal. So there's 4 minutes remaining until the checker flag falls. So Hungary looking to get a lap on the board here. Can he go in front of his teammate? I think he most certainly will do with this effort. 1:27.0. He goes 3rd. So Hungary on the 2nd row as it stands. So Ebert in the Alfa Romeo, aiming to improve. Or at least get a lap time on the board anyway. And Ebard pushing too hard, and you may as well back out of this lap. So Hungary is a 10th away from his best lap time. So Green and through in the Mercedes through Cops, and Leclerc goes to the front row with his lap time 1 minute 26.5. He's just 300ths away from pole position as well. Driver improving through sector 1. Cobalt on a flying lap. He comes towards the end of the lap now. 1:26.8. He's good enough for 4. And Green in 8th place at the moment. As that time puts him 6th behind Hungary. So 1 minute remaining. 10th up for the driver from before. Can he maybe get into the top 4 with this effort? And Will's on a flying lap as well. Driver through Club onto the Hamilton straight, and this is going to be a 1:26.9, good enough for 5th. So here's Will in the McLaren, 1:27.7, only good enough for 8th. And Leclerc goes to provisional pole position with his 1:26.4, so nearly 300ths clear of Gabriel, but Gabriel's on a faster lap by sector 2. And Kelso goes 9th of his flying lap. Ebar won't be getting over the line before the checker flag falls, so he will start 10th on the grid. So Gabriel coming through the last corner. Is this good enough to put him on pole position? The answer is yes. 1:26.2, which is over 2 tenths clear of Leclerc. Green goes 3rd with his effort. The driver also improving his time. The driver nearly 2 tenths up from before by sector 2. Can he go into the top 3 with this effort? And Cobalt's retired in the pits, so 5th or lower is where he'll end up. So the driver coming onto the pit straight, 1:26.9, stays 6th, but will go up a place because of Hayden's grid drop. I'm talking which of Hayden, he's crossing over the line now, and he only goes 3rd. So Hayden, as it stands, will start 8th on the grid. Kelso has backed off on his lap, and that's that. So Gabriel on pole position for Alpine at Silverstone, with Leclerc alongside him. Green and Cobalt will line up on row 2, then it's the driver and Hungary next to each other on row 3. Will and Hayden are on row 4. Kelso and Twitch Ebar round out your top 10. And there we go, Gabriel on top in qualifying. Can he convert that into the race victory? We're back for the race in a minute or so. Don't go anywhere. And so it's dry for the race. It's expected to remain dry throughout. And someone's readied up already, so I'm not sure how everyone else would be feeling about that. Normally it's supposed to wait until the host of the lobby says it's ready to go, because otherwise if one person readies up, then it starts the countdown and the formation lap, and people don't have enough time to sort out their race strategies. So the formation lap begins. run down on who lines up where on the grid. Then it's Gabriel and Leclerc on the front row, Green and Cobalt next up, the driver and Hungary on row 3, then it's Will and Hayden on row 4. Kelsu and Twitch rounding out the top 10, then it's Hack and Archie on the 6th row, Jamie Owen and Cohen are on row 7, and it's Budigo rounding off the grid. This is a 26 lap race. And as far as the championship is concerned, Just Secret, who's not racing today, is 18 points clear. So second place would be enough for Hayden to take over the lead of the title battle. The driver has a chance to get in there as well, as does Will. So Gabriel backs up the field. And someone goes off track. That was Ebar, who'd just gone through the polystyrene boards. And it looks like Leclerc has gone for a spin in the Red Bull. Gabriel leads the cars onto the grid. And shortly we'll be underway for this British Grand Prix. Is Green already there? He didn't even move off the grid. So just wait for everyone to take their positions. As Leclerc just getting back into his second place grid spot. Here we go then. The 5 red lights come on. When they go out, we'll be racing here at Silverstone. It's lights out and away we go, and Gabriel gets off the line well, as does Cobalt in third place. He gets up into second position, in fact. So Cobalt goes up to second. There's plenty of cars going off the track there. One of the Hasses and one of the Red Bulls going off. Leclerc gets a penalty for corner cutting and goes through the polystyrene balls, and he's off the track. And one of the other Red Bulls goes round. I think one of the Williams makes contact with it as well, so both of the Red Bulls in trouble. Hungary going round. And so he's left the session already. Archie's been penalised as well for gaining position of a collision with Hayden. Carnage already on the first lap so far. But Gabriel still leads. It's Cobalt in second place, followed by Green, and the driver Will's in fifth, had a Kelsu and Archie. Ebar's in 8th, had a Jamie Owen and Budigo. And someone's gone round. It's Will in the McLaren. It's ripped off his front wing. Oh, and there's more carnage. And we've got a virtual safety car because of the leftover day. That's Hayden's gone round. He's reset the car back onto the track. That's against the rules, I'm afraid. Budigo's off circuit as well. Absolute mayhem on the first lap here at Silverstone. Probably too early in the race to be making a pit stop unless any of the drivers have got front wing damage. So Kelsu gets penalised for speeding. Leclerc also in for Red Bull. Both McLarens, I think, although Hayden's gone round. Will's in the pits for a new nose. Hack's in for a new front wing, as is Hungary. Leclerc is out on his way again. I think Kelsu's leaving the pits ahead of him now, so Kelsu will rejoin. So plenty of mayhem on the first lap, and the race is back on the way. It's saying that the DRS has been enabled. We are in fact on that too, so the DRS has not enabled yet. Or hasn't been enabled. So the driver going through Cops Corner. He's behind. You can see Will and Archie going so I think, or is that Hack he's battling with? And that's Hack who's tussling, but Gabriel's still in the lead. There's Green right behind Cobalt in the fight for second place. So the DRS has been enabled now. There's Archie, who's already up to 5th place. You can see Owen there going to the inside of Ebar as they go into turn 1, which is Abbey. So can Green get in front of Cobalt on this lap? He won't do it into Brooklands from there. And watch Ebar in the Alfa Romeo going to the inside of Archie, and he gets through. Oh, there's a collision. Ebar's in the wall after making contact. I think that was Archie who made contact with, and he's ripped off his front wing. It's scattered debris everywhere. He'll be furious with him for that. Yeah, Archie's got damage as well. So his front wing. And he's got Hayden behind him. Shocking driving standards, I have to say, so far. And Archie's in the pits, as is Ebar. And those guys are going to be dropping down the order. You can see Boudigo, who's got side pod damage by the looks of things, or floor damage. There's Hack moving ahead of Will into 13th place. And Leclerc posting a new fastest lap, 1 minute 29.2. And someone's gone off in sector 1, it's Boudigo. And he's ripped off his front wing. Now he needs to be careful because there's going to be a car coming round. Oh, and Hack's out! Hack has had a massive shunt with one of the McLarens by the looks of things. And Archie having to go off circuit. And we've got a safety car now. So Hack's left rear looks to be broken. And so we have our first safety car of the race. So Gabriel, his lead is going to be wiped out by the time he does catch up to the safety car. Now Hayden goes into the pits for McLaren. Boudigo's ripped off his front wing, so he'll be in the pits. And Gabriel is caught up to the safety car now. So So plenty of carnage so far, and it's only a very early time in the race. I think Ebar's picked up damage as well in the Alfa Romeo, so he's in need of his second front wing in this race. And there's Will back in the pits once more. Ebar will take his penalty. In fact, he's ripped off another front wing completely. So medium tyres go on. So we're on lap 5 out of 26. Now, with it being a dry race, all the drivers have to use at least 2 different compounds. And so far, only the top 6 have not pitted. And so Ebar continuing to cut corners. I don't understand why he's cutting corners there. He's already got a penalty of 10 seconds to his name. So Bidigo in 12th. So the safety car is still out there at the present moment. We'll wait and see whether it does decide to come in at the end of this lap. It doesn't look like it will be this lap, so I think it's going to continue around for one more lap before it decides to come in. So Gabriel leads, Cobalt second, Driver third, Kieran Green fourth, Jamie in fifth, Cohen sixth, and it's Keltsu, Leclerc, Hayden and Archie. And Ebar continues to get penalised for track limits as well. He's now on 13 seconds worth of time penalties. The safety car out for at least one more lap. So all 14 drivers left in the race now are still running. Well, they're still running and they've all caught up to the safety car, so the safety car will go in at the end of this lap. And I just hope when the drivers do decide to behave on the restart, yes, there's going to be drivers on fresher tyres than others, particularly those at the back. It's still vitally important that we do get as many finishes as this race done as possible. I think Budigo's has gone for a spin. Now, has Ebar just gone past Hungary under the safety car? I think he has, you know. What is he doing? Ebar is he's going past cars under the safety car. And I'm sure he's gone past at least two. We'll wait and see what the stewards say afterwards. But it's coming in at the end of this lap now. And so, Gabriel goes now, and we are back underway here at Silverstone. It goes wide on the restart there, there's Gabriel, and that's going to allow Cobalt to close in and have a go. Anyone else making a move? Not so yet. Arch gets the penalty for track limits. As we watch Cobalt close right in on the Alpine. And there's no DRS for the first two laps of the restart. Leclerc's making his way past Kaltsu to go up into 7th place. Boudigo also penalised. And someone's gone off in sector 1. Boudigo's gone round. And there's a bit of contact there as Cohen continues to lose places. I think his car is controlled by the AI, to be honest with you. As we watch Cobalt behind Gabriel. They fight over the race lead. No, neither of the top 5 have pitted yet. And just watch these guys to see if they actually make it through So corner without a problem. Not sure what Kaltsu is trying to do there. And now Archer's trying to get through. There's contact made. And Will goes for a spin in the McLaren. He drops down to 13th place. Gabriel still leads with Cobalt in second. And then we've got the second Alpine of the driver in third. Jamie in fourth and Green in fifth. In sector 1. There's an incident there. It's the McLaren of Hayden who's had a moment. As we watch Archie go toe-to-toe with Ebert. And there's Hungary's right in there. Wheel bang in between those guys. Now Ebert and Archie came together at Woodcote last time. Well, they don't come together this time. I think Hungary's going to go past Archie in the Red Bull. He backs out of it. Archie goes off the track and the Red Bull goes past. So Ebert gets past his teammate to go up into 9th position. He has got a time penalty though of 16 seconds. Far too much at this stage of the race. Kaltsu is in 8th, with 2 Alfa Romeos followed by Archie, Hungary and Boudigo. The DRS has been enabled, so any driver within a second of the car in front at the detection point for the DRS zones will be able to open the rear wing. And Green gets penalised for track limits now. Now him and Owen there got penalties though. Just watch Archie as he makes his way through on the Alfa Romeo of Cohen. Oh, there's contact made between Will and Cohen. Could have ended in tears there ever so easily. And the driver is losing positions now because he's got two Mercedes going past him. But he goes for a spin and there's contact and the Red Bull surely damage as well. So the driver's lost 3 positions. In the space of a few corners there, Hayden posts a new fastest lap. And then we go back as Bart and Archie, oh, this is naughty, guys. What are you doing? And that just about sums it up. Archie's out of the race, and we've got a safety car. And Ebart, in no doubt, will get a penalty for that. Because that was so needless of him. He made a similar collision to another Williams driver last week in Austria. And Katzel has just been penalised for exceeding the safety car speed, the delta that is. And I would imagine the leader's going to be coming in for a change of tyres now. And another question mark over driving standards within the Realistic Velocity Racing League. Or just in fact the drivers in general on track. Gabriel, Cobalt and Green enter the pits. Damian stays out, Leclerc goes through, the driver likewise, Hayden. Paltsu also making a change of tyres. Now Will goes past. Hungary also coming in, as well as Cohen. And Video does come in. And Ebart follows in. So just seeing guys coming back out onto the circuit now. There's Gabriel. And Jamie Owens been disqualified from the session. Now what's happened? Now I'm not sure what's happened here, but Jamie Owen has been disqualified from the session. And Will's the same as well. So Will's been disqualified for ignoring the yellow flag. So he's just literally gone past the safety car. So Will's race is over as well. So Gabriel's caught up to the safety car now on his fresh mediums. Cobalt second on fresh softs. And it's Green, Leclerc, Hayden, driver, Kelsu, Cohen, Hungary, Budigo and Ebart. I imagine the safety car will stay out there for at least one more lap. So on lap 12 out of 26. So Ebard back into the pits. He's probably going to try and go on a set of soft tyres. probably doing a lap of the mediums before he came back in for softs. So the drivers with penalties at the moment are Green, Leclerc, the driver, Kaltsu, Budigu and Ebart. Ebart's penalties being reduced now from 11 to 6. And Kaltsu's drive-through penalty will have to be taken after the safety car has gone back in, not during it. Ebart coming down the old pit straight. Now will the safety car go in at the end of this lap? I don't think it actually is. So it'll be staying out there for at least one more lap. Or is it coming in? Yeah, it is coming in. So the safety car is coming in at the end of this lap. Gabriel, as he did so before, will back up the field, and he will go when he is ready to do so. And so we're back on the way. Gabriel leads ahead of Cobalt, and King Green has gone round in the Mercedes. As we watch Budigu and Ebart go into Abbey. Now Ebart's already on the threat from the stewards with his antics with Archie earlier. And Budigu not quite leaving him enough space, and Ebart goes for a spin. And he's reset to the track, so that's against the rules, so that's another penalty coming his way. So Leclerc's in third place right now, and Kieran Green is stuck on the pit straight and smashed into the barrier as well. And they're still going at it. These standards are not good. Then, oh dearie me, this is just the dirtiest driving I have seen in any sim league racing race in all my commentary time. And Budigu goes into the barrier, and that's his race over. So that's another one gone from that. And we've got a virtual safety car. I cannot believe. And Kieran Green has stopped out on circuit as well. So now we're down to 9. And we've still got 12 more laps remaining of this. I mean, goodness knows how many cars we're going to see at the checker flag by the finish. It's absolutely ridiculous from what we've seen so far. So Kelso into the pits for a new front wing. Ebart likewise. Soft tyres going on. Ebart's car. And Kelso also going on to... Well, he's going on to a mediums actually. And we're back on track now. And Kelso gets... Well, we're back on the way, I should say. And this is a battle for the lead between Gabriel and Cobalt. Cobalt right behind Gabriel as they go toe-to-toe in the battle for the lead here. No way through yet, so he waits behind. Hungary gets past Cohen to go up into 6th place. So Hungary's through. So Ebert approaching Kelsu, to the inside he goes. And he's up into 8th place. And Kelsu will be in the pits for his drive-through penalty as we watch Cobalt and Gable go fighting it out for the lead here. Cobalt and Gable going side by side down the old pit straight. And they keep it clean through that. Now Leclerc wants to get his Red Bull into the act as well. Rear wing open on the AlphaTauri and the Red Bull. Can they go past Gabriel? Leclerc goes one side. The AlphaTauri goes to the left. Gabriel still in front. But Leclerc gets past Cobalt, he goes up into 2nd place. So Gabriel still leading for now at least. Hayden with the new fastest lap as well. Twitch gets penalised for track limits. So Cobalt watches Leclerc go through on Gabriel to take over the race lead. Can Cobalt follow suit and get through as well? The answer's no. He uses ERS to perhaps make a lunge down into Cop's corner. Decides not to through that. And Ebar's in the pits. Once again, how many times has he been in the pits? Well, I hope this is not premeditated, by the way, because if he's doing it so that he can fight out with Kelsu and go toe-to-toe with him and do what he did last time with Archie, then there's going to be some serious ramifications afterwards. We'll watch the battle for the lead for now. 9 laps remaining. As we watch Cobalt go for a move on Gabriel in the fight for 2nd place. Leclerc's time penalty will drop in behind this lot. So as it stands, it's between Gabriel and Cobalt for the race victory. Now Cobalt to the inside as they go into Brooklands. And Cobalt goes for a spin, and that allows Hayden to go through as well, so Cobalt goes backwards. The driver goes past him as well, so Cobalt down to 5th place. And Cobalt continuing to go for spins now. We watch Hayden, who's closing on Gabriel. Rear wing open. Now will Gabriel go defensive as they go into Stowe corner? Doesn't need to. So Leclerc leads. Gabriel 2nd, Hayden 3rd, driver 4th, Cobalt 5th. And look at Hungary. It doesn't have a penalty to his name. He wants to try and get in front of Cobalt as soon as he can. And so Hayden gets through on the Alpine, goes past him, and goes up into second place. For now, at least. And then we watch. He's just dropped back actually from Kautsu. So 6 drivers out of this race so far. 9 still remain. And Ebar into the pits for Alfa Romeo. As we watch Gabriel go to the outside. And Hayden spins this time. So Hayden's next to go off. I think Gabriel's been penalised as well for track limits. And Hayden's reset the car back onto the track. That's twice he's done that now. Oh, and Hayden's gone off again through Abbey and Farm. And this is just taking the mickey now. He's just going for spins for fun. Cobalt goes past him. Hayden's just making no effort now. Just allowing cars to go past. I'm just watching Ebar at the moment because he's a lap down. I don't think the car's ghosted. And he's chasing after one of the Alpines. And that Alpine's the driver. So, oh, Hayden goes for a spin. Hits the wall with the rear wing. And the Alfa Romeo goes past ahead of him. So Hayden catching up to the Alfa Romeo once again. He goes back through into 6th position. And now we watch Ebar as he closes in on the driver. And he's going to have DRS because he's within a second of him. Now, Ebar's driving standards in this race has been terrible. And Hayden's out this time. He's crashed out on the exit of Farm. Will that bring out the safety car, I wonder, with where he's parked? So, chance of taking the lead in the championship gone up in smoke. I'll promote Kautsu up to 7th and Ebar up to 8th. Ebar posting fast. I think he's going to try and go for the fastest lap. And he's still right behind the driver at the moment. So 5 laps remaining. As it stands, Leclerc would not take the victory. It'll be Gabriel who will be going to the top step. Ebar going off track. He really is taking the mickey now. He's reset back onto the track. He's deliberately taken out drivers there, look. I mean, this is pretty much summed this race up now. And what's going to happen afterwards. I'm just watching to see what he decides to do here, Ebar. Oh, this is absolutely ridiculous. Not good at all. And Ebar goes into the barrier, and that's his race over. And to be honest, I'm kind of glad he's out of it now, because driving standards has been shocking. And Cobalt penalised for speeding in the pits. And the drivers are just hoping for this race to be over now. It's such a shame with the races how it's panned out. A lot of the drivers' behaviour on the circuit has been absolutely shocking. It really, really has been. So 3 laps to go. Leclerc still leads. Cobalt's back on track, and I'm so glad he's still in the race. Although Ebar's unsportsmanlike behaviour on track. There's Kelsu in 7th place. Still in the lead lap. So 7 drivers remaining in this race. So 2 laps to go. Leclerc's lead is 1.6 seconds, but his time penalty will drop him behind Gabriel. There's the driver in 3rd place. Hungary 4th, Co in 5th, and Cobalt in 6th. Who will now be going for the fastest lap. Cobalt continues to get penalised for track limits. As it stands, it would not affect his race finishing position. Cobalt crossing over the lines. This is going to be a new fastest lap. Well, it's his personal best, but it's not the fastest lap of the race. The fastest lap is a 1:28.3, which Leclerc had set. Now the race leaders are starting their final lap now. No, even if Cobalt was to get ahead of Cohen, it wouldn't be enough for him to keep hold of 5th place. He'll want to come away with some form of consolation. Cobalt, a 10th up from before in Sector 2. Now, is this going to be the fastest up of the race as he crosses over the line? It is now, so the fastest up is going to go to Cobalt. Here's Leclerc then, as he and Gabriel come through Stowe for the last time. It's been an eventful race, but for the wrong reasons. Leclerc, with his time penalty, it's not going to be enough for him to keep the race victory. He crosses over the line, but it's Gabriel who's going to take the British Grand Prix victory here at Silverstone for Alpine. Gabriel wins for the first time in the RVRL. And he'll be pleased with that. In fact, he deserved it all the way through, given the pace he had in qualifying. The driver will take 3rd place, so it's 2 Alpines on the podium. Hungary will come home in 4th, so it's an Alpine, Red Bull, Alpine, Red Bull in the top 4 positions. So Cobalt will cross the line ahead of Cohen, but he'll fall behind him with the time penalty. Kelso would be the last of the finishers in 7th place. I don't think Cobalt's on a faster lap than before. We'll have a look anyway. And the driver's 3rd place means he goes on to 51 points. He ties with Hayden. And Cobalt falls behind Cohen. And Carl Silver the last over the line in 7th. But Gabriel is your race winner here at Silverstone, with Leclerc in 2nd and bagging more points towards the championship. So the drivers celebrate on the podium here at Silverstone. We'll run down the race result and of course the championship standings as to how that will affect things. So Gabriel's your race winner ahead of Leclerc, then it's the driver in 3rd place, followed by Hungary, Cohen, Cobalt in 6th, and gained the fastest lap. Telsu, the last of finishes in 7th. Switcher Bart crashed out and most certainly under investigation for his unsportsmanlike behaviour on circuit. Hayden also retired. Verdugo crashed out. Kieran Green and Will were disqualified for overtaking the safety car when they shouldn't have done so. Archie crashed out, as did Hack, and Jamie Owen retired. Well, in fact, Kieran Green crashed out or stopped out on circuit. Will and Jamie Owen were disqualified for overtaking under the safety car. So in regards to the championship, Just Secret, who didn't compete today, still has an 18-point lead as the driver moves level on points with Hayden. And then the next round of the championship will be in Baku, I believe. No, it's in Hungary, sorry. So it's in Hungary for round 6 of the championship. Thank you for joining us. The next round will be next Sunday, 5 PM British Summer Time. So do tune in for then. I'm Tom Cairns, and I'll speak to you again soon when the Realistic Velocity Racing League returns.